Hey Spencer, should I go to Mexico to get cheaper dental implants?
You can go to Mexico to get cheaper dental implants, but it depends on your long-term goals because a lot of people say, well, I can go there and get it cheaper, but you got to live the rest of your life with this. So a lot of people, the reason they go to Mexico is because if you're getting a zirconia block of teeth like this, here in the States, it's going to range anywhere for zirconia. You're probably looking at $40,000 to $50,000 on average to do this one, and that's where we put 4 dental implants up here that look like these posts. We put that up there in the bone and down in the bone as well, and then we secure a screw-in zirconia block to those implants. Here in the United States, you're probably looking at $30,000 to $50,000 total to get something like that done, depending on what it is, if it's clip-in, if it's PMMA, or zirconia. But what happens is people will go to Mexico and they'll say, "Oh, I can get it done for $15,000 or $25,000, or it's half the cost or it's a third the cost, and I can get it done really cheap down there." We did have there's 2 stories I'll tell you of one implant and a full mouth. We had one girl that came in and said, "Hey, I got the implant done in Colombia." And we had another person come from Mexico as well, but they got it done internationally cheaper. We do the x-ray, we do the scan, and we find out that implant part is totally foreign to us and most dentists around. We can't figure out any way that we're going to put the tooth on it because we don't have compatible parts. And so we said you either have to go back to Colombia and get it on, which means you're going to spend $1,000 in flights and hospitality just to get it back on, or we need to take it out and put in our parts. So we'll take it out, pack some bone in, wait a couple months, put the implant in, wait a couple months, and then we can put the tooth on. So going international makes sense if you're living down there or you go back anyway, and you're able to do long-term care there. But if you're saying, I'm just going to go to Mexico, get all the screws in, and then come here and finish it out so it's cheaper, the long-term goals on that are not going to work because you need a doctor that's going to be with you every step of the way. Another story I've got is that there was this lady that went to Mexico to save money. The guy told her that he was going to do the whole thing for $16,000, and he did, and she had infections in every single implant. And she had to come home, and she had infections and pain in her jaws for a year. And then they had to pull it all out, and then she spent $50,000 here redoing it. So in the end, she had to go through a year of pain, lose the $16,000 and whatever she spent on flights and hospitality, and then she just had to come back here after a year of pain and get the teeth back in anyway. So to go through this process of like, am I going to Mexico to get it done? I would ask, what is your long-term strategy here? Are you willing to go to Mexico every time there's a problem? Are you willing to go back to Mexico 8 to 15 times, depending on your case, to make sure that they can do it right? And if you're doing it for $15,000 and it costs you $500 every time you go back to Mexico, technically the price makes sense. But then you're going back to Mexico every single time you need something done. You got to take off work, or you can only do it on the weekends. There's a lot of factors to consider. I had one guy tell me he was going to go to Italy and get it done, and I said, "Why haven't you gone yet?" And he said, "Well, I can't get any time off work." These things are very time intensive, and I mean, we're down in Provo at Sundance Implant, and we have somebody that's doing a full mouth that said they could get it for cheaper in Salt Lake, which is about 45 minutes north, and they said that they didn't want to drive up there anymore because it was too far away. So in my mind, I'm like, if a lot of people have said that to me too. Like, we usually only work on people that are within 5 to 10 miles of the office. We have some people that come from all over the country because we do a really good job and we have a great reputation. But the majority of people live within 15 to 20 minutes of our office. So when somebody says, "I want to go international," it could cost about the same, but then you're going to have to take however many flights and however many days off work and however much time, and then it's a bigger risk. So should you go international to get your dental implants done, if you're going to be down there anyway, if you are comfortable making that many trips, if you're comfortable with the risk of not having compatible parts, then maybe it's a good option. But most of the time I would say find somebody that's close by that you're comfortable with and get ready to have a 5 to 10 year relationship with them to make sure this thing really sets in and lasts. because it is going to be hopefully the rest of your life that these full arches last. And if you're just getting it one and done in Mexico and thinking that the maintenance here in the United States is going to work, then you should probably do some more research on the long-term effects of dental implants and what it takes to complete these cases. I hope that helps. I think that there are good dentists internationally, but there's a lot of things to consider when you're getting them done, and I would focus more locally just for time and money savings overall, and to make sure that you have a good aftercare plan.